With Euro 2024 just 1 week away now, I thought I'd showcase my new team and talk about my chip strategy for the upcoming tournament. Now, before we dive into today's team, I just want to say that if you do enjoy any of the content that you see on the channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe as we are chasing down that 5,000 subscriber mark. And it would be absolutely massively appreciated by me if we could go and smash that goal. Also, as you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, there is my mini league for the tournament, the FPL Tom Super League. Use the code there or use the link in the description. Get yourself in there. And if you are top at different points throughout the tournament, you will be getting a shout out on the channel and of course on my Twitter as well. Now, I think it's important when we're doing our draft planning to obviously take a look at the fixtures. This is one that I've put together. It's kind of the FDR rating, if you like, what's obviously on regular FPL if you do play that. Everyone is color coded, as you can see with the key there. So certain teams that we want to be targeting throughout the tournament, I think this is a really useful tool. It's on my Twitter. Also, if you want to take a screenshot of it in today's video as well, that is perfectly acceptable. Looking at game week 1, we're obviously looking at teams like Germany. They take on Scotland. Italy play Albania. Denmark against Slovenia. England against Serbia. France against Austria. Ukraine against Romania. Belgium's fixtures looking pretty tasty as well. Turkey against Georgia. And Portugal against Chechnya. So some definite strong fixtures we want to be looking at throughout the tournament. For me personally, my strategy is going to be to hit that limitless in Matchday 3 and the wildcard in Matchday 2. Obviously, we do get free transfers for game week 1, with it being this draft, and in game week 4, the start of round 16. But that's my current plan. I'm currently leaving it open. It might change. Obviously, I'm going to bring out a chip strategy video. That will be out over the weekend as well. So if you are looking forward to that, like I said, hit that subscribe button. Get the bell notifications on as well, so you will be notified when that one goes up. Obviously, I'll do a bit more of a deeper dive into both sides of the strategies, the pros, the cons, which way is the best way to go. But for me personally, the way that I'm leaning, I am currently on limitless in match day 3, and we're going to play the wild card in 2. So my team pretty much is going to just be built for match day 1, and that is what you're going to see in today's draft. But I think if you are looking for teams that are pretty strong throughout the course of the group stage, I think Germany's a great shout. England's a pretty good shout as well. Denmark, aside from game week 2, is a pretty good fixture. I'd definitely say Portugal, and I'd definitely say Belgium as well. Teams that I think, regardless of your chip strategy, you should definitely be looking to kind of load up on. Moving on, let's take a look at Elvenify. I want to give them a massive shout out. Some incredible work they're doing on their website. Again, I'll leave a link to that and to their Twitter in the description. These are clean sheet odds for game week 1, game week 2, and game week 3, or match day 1, match day 2, match day 3, however you want to pronounce it. So these are the best teams that you should be looking at in terms of defensive stats. As you can see, Italy 60% in game week 1. They do play Albania. England very high across the board as well, a total of 1.3 predicted clean sheets across the course of the tournament. Germany, Portugal, Belgium as well, and France, all very, very highly rated. So if you are looking for teams that have good defensive potential records, obviously going using this model, then those would be the teams that I would be looking to kind of target throughout the course of this tournament. As you can see, some teams down the bottom that you probably want to be looking to avoid: the likes of Albania, Poland, Slovenia, Georgia, Scotland, Austria, Slovakia, Hungary, and Romania. No real surprises there, to be honest. They're, the worst kind of teams in the tournament. So it's no surprise that they do have some of the worst clean sheet odds in the game. But it's very interesting to see, if you are on certain strategies like myself, Italy definitely look like a defense you would want to be targeting in game week 1 as well. Same with Belgium. They're up at 46%, and Germany as well. Jonathan Tah and Mittelstadt, definitely players I would be kind of highly looking towards going and get in. I've seen quite a few people who have England players as well in their drafts. I think that's perfectly acceptable. Looking at the good kind of tournament data that England have had since Southgate's been in charge as well, really, really good data for them. And as you can see as well, this predicted model by Elvenify as well is projecting that England are going to do extremely well in terms of the clean sheets this tournament. Moving on to attacking data, this is predicted goals per game. England leading the way with 8.5 predicted goals throughout the course of the group stage. France narrowly in second, and then Germany a little bit further behind in third place as well. So these are probably some of the best teams you want to be looking to load up on in terms of attacking data. England, obviously, they've got the likes of Harry Kane. The midfield is a little bit more dicey, and we will come on to talk about which midfielders I think you should be looking to go and get from England. France, obviously, a lot of people are going to have Mbappe in their team as well. Germany, plenty of good options for them. Portugal, do you go with Cristiano Ronaldo, or do you look a little bit lower at the likes of Belgium and go and get Romelu Lukaku? Some, again, very interesting data here, and I think these models, especially whatever strategy you're on, are really, really good looking at which teams are expected to do well in terms of defense and in terms of attack. So like I said, go and check out Elvenify's website. They've got so much more stuff on there. Predicted lineups, game odds as well, which teams they expect to do well in certain individual games. I think it's an amazing website. So like I said, I'll leave a link to that in the description. Go and check it out because it is a really, really useful tool for helping you guys plan your game week 1 or match day 1 drafts for Euro Fantasy 2024. Moving on to my strategy, and this, like I said at the top of the video, is what I'm going to be doing. We are going to be currently match day 2. We're going to use that wild card, and then in match day 3, we're going to be activating that limitless chip. If you don't know about these chips, like I said, there will be a video coming out this weekend explaining what each chip does and my preferred strategies and the alternative strategies as well. But basically this one, match day 1 and this first draft, is pretty much just going to be, we're just going to focus on the first game week or the first match day. That is going to be it. Then we're going to wildcard in 2 to target teams with easy fixtures. Again, basically using that like pretty much a wildcard. I think there's quite a lot of upside in the group stage, a lot more kind of variable score lines, a lot more teams as well playing weaker defenses across the board compared to later in the tournament. So I do think there is that slight upside on that one. And then limitless in match day 3, a lot of the top teams do have quite nice fixtures. Now there is obviously going to be some rotation that, you know, goes without saying. Some teams are going to progress, but with the nature of this tournament, I do think that there will be some top teams that still will need to pick up stuff on the final day. I'm looking at Spain as well. They've got 2 extremely difficult fixtures in the opening 2 with Croatia and Italy. They obviously play Albania in the last one, so it could be worth potentially looking at the triple up from their teams as well. And then, like I said, once we've done all that, we do then get unlimited transfers for the round of 16. So it basically clears the slate again, and then we go into the latter stages of the tournament, just taking our transfers. It's a bit of a risky strategy. It is, kind of a high reward, high risk one. If it doesn't pay off in the group stage and, I get absolutely kind of shafted in the round of 16, then I am in a little bit of a pickle. There's no way of kind of getting around that. I would be stuck if most of my players went out in the round of 16. We only have 3 transfers going into the quarterfinals as well. So if a lot of my players went out, I probably would be a little bit stuck. But like I said, I think there's a little bit more upside in terms of the group stage. So let's explain that in a little bit further detail. So the wildcard team for match day 2, we're going to obviously be targeting the easier fixtures here. Like I've got Belgium and Croatia as tier 1. Tier 2, we've got Switzerland, England, Portugal and Germany. Again, these teams are pretty nice fixtures. I think by match day 1 as well, we should have a better understanding of which teams are the ones we want to be targeting, which players we want to be targeting as well. So maybe if I've got some things wrong in that game week 1 draft, then I can very, very easily just go and flip that. Alternatively as well, there's some good teams, as you can see down the tier 3 ones. Serbia, Ukraine, Georgia and Czechia all have pretty decent fixtures as well. So if they look impressive in the opening games, they again could be teams to target. As well, you've got teams like Austria playing Poland. Again, we don't know which way that's going to go, who's going to look pretty decent in that one. Croatia have got Albania as well. That could be a really, really decent fixture. And Switzerland with Scotland as well. Depending again how teams look in match day 1, which way I do swing with this wildcard. So that's the plan for game week 2 or match day 2. And then in match day 3, I haven't loaded the image in. Give me a second. And there we go, match day 3, seamless as always. Match day 3, this is where we're going to be targeting the limitless. As you can see from the tier 1 and tier 2, there's a lot of the top kind of, I'd say the favourites for the tournament have strong fixtures. You're looking at the likes of Portugal playing Georgia, England as well, strong fixture for them. We spoke about Spain briefly in the last section. They're playing Albania, Germany against Switzerland, Belgium down the bottom against Ukraine as well. France taking on, I think it's Poland in the final final game, and then Holland as well with Austria. So a lot of top teams still, again, could be a lot to play for with that one, and with the Limitless as well, having that unlimited budget, it means we can go and stack this team out with high quality premium assets. And I think even, like, I've had a few questions about this, you know, people saying to me, you know, are you not worried about rotation? Are you not worried that, you know, some people might be dropped? I do get that point, and I think it's very fair, but even if you're not using your Limitless, then you're still going to be in the same predicament as a lot of people, because, you know, there's still going to be that rotation taking place. At least I can build a team where I might have a little bit more information, or I know that certain teams are through, so I might not target them, or maybe look at different assets from those teams that I think could get minutes. Whereas if you just, you know, just sat with nothing, you're still going to be in the same position as me. You're still going to be experiencing that rotation. And like I said, with the amount of top quality teams in this final match day, I definitely think it is worth using this Limitless chip in match day 3. But let me know what you think about your chip strategy in the comment section. Obviously, it is open to interpretation. I'm not saying this is perfect. There's definitely downsides, but there are a lot of upsides as well. So let me know what you think of it down in the comment section below. And let's move on to my team selection for match day 1. Wasting no time, let's dive straight into my goalkeepers. We're going to start off with Dibus. He's going to be our goalkeeper. Should be Hungary's #1, and he's coming in at 4 million. I'm not too kind of sure which way to call that Hungary-Switzerland game, to be honest. But a 4 million goalkeeper who has the potential to play, I think I'm pretty happy with that as well. There are some really, really good 4 million goalkeepers out there. Sells from Belgium is looking like a very, very worthy candidate as well. So he potentially could be one to go for as well. But I think Debuz is probably going to be the one. I'm absolutely probably butchering that pronunciation, so I do apologize on that one. But if he doesn't play, we do have Lunin from Ukraine with a very, very strong fixture against Ukraine. If Ukraine do want to progress out of that group, they need to be beating teams like Ukraine, so I feel they'll be very, very up for that one. Pretty good team in qualifying as well. I think they had a very, very good defensive record throughout the course of their qualifying campaign as well. They didn't really play anyone too difficult, but still pretty good defensive record, so I'm very happy to have Lunin as our alternative goalkeeper. Moving into the back line, we're going to start off with Mittelstadt. I feel he's kind of pretty common knowledge, to be honest, amongst the kind of more in-the-know managers for the Euro Fantasy game. 4 million defender. Looks like he could be playing for Germany at left back as well. Has a really, really good season for Stuttgart this season. Obviously, they came second in the Bundesliga, so had a really, really good campaign for them, and looks like he's going to be rewarded with a start against Scotland for him as well. So for 4 million, I think that's a little bit of a no-brainer. Definitely worth a gamble. Moving on to my double Italy defence. Like I said, this team is only going to be for match day 1, so I want to take full advantage of that nice fixture that Italy do have in the opening game against Albania. Di Lorenzo and DeMarco, the left back and the full back for Italy, both had pretty good seasons in terms of attacking returns in Serie A as well. DeMarco is on some free kicks and corners as well, so I think that could be a little bit of a cheeky exploit, to be honest. I'm hoping if Italy do keep the clean sheet and one of these guys picks up an attacking return, I think that could be gold dust, to be honest. I think that could be a really, really good strategy for me. Get the Italian players, because it's further forward the field, it's a little bit harder to call. I mean, you've got players like Chiesa, but I think these two definitely nailed. Definitely very happy to have them in their team. Definitely two players I would want as well. Definitely got the potential to go and get attacking returns and pretty good clean sheets. The best clean sheets odds, as we saw from Elvenify, in terms of, I think it was like 60% for match day 1. So, you know, I'm banking on Italy doing extremely well in match day 1. Moving on to our final defender on the pitch, it is going to be Virgil van Dijk. If you didn't know, he has been confirmed that he will be on penalties for this tournament for the Netherlands. So again, he could be either a trap or a little bit of a cheat code. I'm leaning towards the latter, because all it takes is one gammy penalty decision and a clean sheet. He's walking away with the man of the match points as well, 3 points for that as well. So I think that could be a little bit of a cheat code. He could massively blow up, 15-pointer, something like that. A very easy double-digit haul could be on the card for Virgil van Dijk. And we can't forget as well, this guy is really, really good from set pieces as well. So, a little bit of a threat from corners and free kicks in the air as well. On penalties, and if he gets, a pretty good defensive kind of numbers and returns from that as well, could be an absolute gem in my personal opinion. Finishing up, our final defender is going to be Wout Faes. If you haven't checked out FF Bobby's YouTube channel, go and check him out. He did a full kind of preview of every team and what players he expects to start. Wout Faes was in the Belgian lineup. Again, he's 4 million. Hopefully he's not needed because the rest of the team is looking pretty fit in terms of the back line. So hopefully he's not needed, but he is a nice little option at £4 million. Right, let's move on to our midfielders. We're going to start off with Bukayo Saka. Now, originally I had Bellingham, then I switched to Phil Foden. Now I'm on Bukayo Saka. I've kind of been talked out of it, to be honest, in terms of Foden, because I watched the FA Cup game and I wasn't overly convinced with his performance at left wing. I need to do a little bit more digging into the data, how he actually does in terms of playing in that position. But from me, from just an eye test perspective, he was pretty dismal. Saka seems like he's the only player out of the midfield lot that is going to be playing his natural, traditional role that he plays at club level. We've seen how good a season he's had at Arsenal this year as well. Always seems to do quite well as well when he does put on an England shirt. So I think he might be the go-to England midfielder to go for, playing in his natural role. Really, really good fixtures for England coming up as well. As we saw with the Elvenify data, expected to score the most goals over the course of the group stage. 8.5 predicted goals for England in that one. So it could be a real gem in terms of players. I know a lot of people are looking at Bellingham, but I think Saka could be the player to go for. Moving on to our first captain. Obviously, Gundogan does play on the first match day against Scotland. He's 7 million. He's on penalties. I've seen a lot of people with Florian Wirtz. I also had Wirtz, but I needed to make up some money to go and get Van Dijk in after the penalty announcement. And Gundogan playing in that 10 role as well, pretty consistent for minutes as well, predicted by a lot of people to be starting in terms of Germany, in terms of that 10 position as well. Had an okay season out in La Liga as well, and with him being on penalties, I think that could be a little bit of a cheat code. Our final midfielder in the starting lineup is going to be Bruno Fernandes. Pretty regular in terms of minutes for that Portugal side, as we saw again looking at the Elvenify data and in terms of my FDR ratings as well for the teams. Portugal have some absolutely phenomenal fixtures across the course of this group stage. Really, really good game in game week 1, and I'm not 100% convinced that Cristiano Ronaldo is going to play every single minute of this tournament. And if that is the case, you would expect Bruno maybe to pick up some penalty duties along the way, and hopefully we could get lucky with that one. But I think he's probably one of the go-to Portugal players for me, in my personal opinion. Taking a quick look at the bench, we've got Çalhanoğlu from Turkey. Again, they've got Georgia. They have the worst odds in terms of winning the whole tournament. I think they're like 20 to 1, maybe even a little bit higher, but I think maybe, no, it was 20 to 1 to get out of the group. They are also one of the lowest ranked teams to go and win the tournament as a whole as well. So definitely you feel Turkey should be looking to win that game as well. Çalhanoğlu has had a fantastic season for Inter Milan as well. 13 goals, 5 assists for the Serie A champions. We've all seen clips of him as well, slotting some absolute beauties of free kicks in the goal as well. So could, maybe pick up one of them. That would be pretty saucy. On penalties as well for this Turkey side as well. So again, gives us another penalty taker for our side. And then the final midfielder is Çakçevez. Again, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. I'm probably not, and I'm probably butchering it. But he is 4.5 million. Really nice and cheap. Had an okay season for Watford this year in the Championship. Is predicted again to be playing on that right-hand side of midfield for them. So I think he could have a pretty good season. It's not season. Pretty good tournament, to be honest, in terms of 4.5 million midfielders. I'm not expecting him. I don't think he's ever going to leave my bench. But for that price point, I really can't complain about him, and whatever performances he does go and put into my starting side. Moving on to the front three of attackers, I do feel it is pretty template. I know a lot of people putting some other, maybe differential options out there, but for me, these all have the potential to go and win the Golden Boot. It's template, but it's template for a very good reason. Romelu Lukaku was the highest scoring player in terms of European qualifiers. He got 12 goals over that period. Harry Kane's coming off the back of a phenomenal season with Bayern Munich. And Kylian Mbappe, we all know what this lad can do in a France shirt as well, and at major tournaments. And like I said, these guys do have the potential to go and win the Golden Boots, all within the top 5 odds for the Golden Boot winners as well. Harry Kane and Kylian Mbappe first and second. Lukaku down in 5th, but I think he might be slightly overpriced, to be honest, at 20 to 1. I think he's going to have a really good tournament, and I think Belgium should do quite well in that group and hopefully score a few goals as well. And Lukaku's probably going to be on the end of those. So I think, there are some really good other alternative options in terms of forwards. I'm looking at the Ukrainian striker, Dovbyk. Obviously had a fantastic season for Girona. He scored 25 goals, picking up La Liga Golden Boot. But for me personally, although he is a great option, I just can't look past this front three. Like I said, I think they all have the potential to maybe go and win the Golden Boot this tournament. Pretty strong fixtures across the whole group stage as well. So for me, I don't think there's any point looking elsewhere in terms of forwards. Let me know what you think of my team down in the comment section below. If you've got any questions as well about your draft, get them in. And like I said, get yourself in the mini league as well if you do want to get a shout out, if you're doing extremely well in it. Also, like I said at the top of the video, we are trying to hit 5,000 subscribers. So if you do enjoy any of the content that you see on the channel, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. But thank you very much from me and good luck this match day.